2019, they say, is unlucky for some, but not for us. Well, fingers crossed for the next year anyway. This is our 13th anniversary special. We have 50 cars and bikes, and we are going to test them to find out which ones are the best of 2019.
So we are back on track, and by that I mean we are back at the Buddh International Circuit because we are here to celebrate our 13th anniversary special. Now, just like previous years, we've got the best cars and bikes lined up here, and we are going to see which one of these is going to be the best of 2019. We are going to evaluate them and we are going to judge them, and we'll find out the top 3 machines from this year. And there's also one special award, that is the Performance Bike of the Year award. And that award goes to the bike which laps the circuit in the fastest possible time. Now, of course, to help us out, we need an expert hand. And for that, we have got none other than India's fastest rider on the BIC. Meet Simran King.
Hi, my name is Simranjeet, also known as Simran King, and I am 2 times national champion 1000cc and 1 time Bahrain BSBK first runner-up. And I have come today to autoX jury awards, and I have ridden couple of bikes like starting from 125cc up to 1250cc. So I have ridden my 6R also. So I have done few fast laps. We have done lap timing on couple of bikes. My favorite was Indian FTR, as Indian FTR was the fastest bike after this bike. Honda 300 was quite surprising on track also, and Diavel was also good. BMW R1200 GS was good. So I had a great time here at BIC with autoX magazine, and hope to see again next year.
Once upon a time there was a man I knew, used to be a servant in the land we grew. Then the evil ego came and changed his tune. Now he's evil too, now he's evil too.
So what we have with us here is the Indian FTR 1200. Now the Indian is synonymous for big, comfortable cruisers, but no, this is the antithesis of that. This is based on their flat track championship bike, and this is a road legal bike. It is powered by the same 1203cc V-twin engine which is available in the Scout, but this has been tweaked further. It has 120 bhp of power and 115 Nm of torque. How does this translate in real riding conditions? Well, it is so eager and instant, the power delivery, that it'll actually shock you. You'll actually feel like as if it's going to throw you off. That is how instant the power is. When it comes to handling, it is extremely nimble. This is not an off-roader, but it handles extremely well and confident on dirt tracks. We're talking about handling and power. Well, Simran actually took this on the track and he was blown by the performance. The only thing which held it back were the tires. They are not tarmac focused tires. So apart from that, this was actually one of the top performers on the track. So this may be a niche bike, but when it comes to performance and handling, it will tick those boxes and will keep you smiling.
So this is the Honda CB300R, and first things first, this has been one of the biggest surprises of this test because nobody was expecting it to be that good, and by that I mean on the track. We have ridden this bike on road and we found that it's very good for city riding, but even on the track it's brilliant. The suspension, the handling, the stability, the way this thing holds its line, and the front end is so communicative. This bike is super fun. Plus, the gearing is also right on the money. The engine is there, it revs freely. So not only me, even Simran says that this is one of his favorite bikes from this group. And we are really pleasantly surprised with this bike. And for me, this is definitely going to be one of the best of 2019.
The Triumph Scrambler 1200 XE has been a great performer in the Best of 2019 awards. In fact, I think it's very much a contender for the top 4. It is lighter than the GS, it makes about 89 horsepower, which is good enough for most off-road duties. There is ample of torque low end, so you can very easily get out of a sticky situation while riding off-road. In fact, the biggest surprise was how well it rode on the track. I think if it wasn't for the dual sport tires, it would have clocked a better lap time as well. But it's genuinely supremely nimble even on the track. Royal Enfield brought the Interceptor 650 into India soon after our Best of 2018 awards, which is why this year it is part of the list. As far as the motorcycle is concerned, the parallel twin is absolutely smooth. It is extremely refined. There's ample of torque. It makes about 80% of its torque starting at about 1500 RPM, which makes it really enjoyable to ride. The tires aren't the best out there. They could have been a lot more grippier, which could have given it better handling capabilities. But the biggest thing that goes in the favor of the Interceptor 650 is its price. It's priced at about 2.5 lakhs ex-showroom, which really works in its favor.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands.
We have with us the BMW R1250 GS. Now this is one of the most capable and premium adventure bikes in the world. Now what makes this stand apart is the way it handles on the tarmac, and we took it on the BIC track and Simran was extremely surprised by the way it handles. Yes, the front is slightly light, but when you put in the weight, it takes on corners like no one's business and you actually forget that this is an adventure bike.
Try to catch me howling at the moon. Try to catch me howling at the moon. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
The brand new engine, the 1254cc, has an output of 134 bhp and 143 Nm of torque. But what makes this stand apart is the shift cam technology, and based on the sensor of the throttle, it performs based on your needs and requirements.
Won't stop fighting to the very end.
So the Diavel 1260S, it is one of the top contenders here because you see, this is the most powerful bike here. It produces 157 bhp, has the same L-twin as other Ducati bikes. So of course, this is probably the fastest bike. But since we're using the back section of the track, which is technical and there are a lot of corners, so I think what's going to limit this bike from putting a fast lap time is its low ground clearance, because the pegs are really low, and that means you're going to scrape it all the time. And that's what Simran also said while riding the bike, because on the straights, this thing is just a rocket. Around the corners, you end up scraping the pegs, so again, you can't go fast. What I really liked about this bike is, first of all, it looks brilliant. It's like a beast. As you can see, it's called the Diavel, so it is actually a devil. And then this is the fully loaded version, which is the 1260S. So it has all the gizmos in the world. So out on the road, it really takes care of you. Apart from that, handling wise, I'd say the front is really light. It turns in quickly. But the rear tire, look at that tire, it's like fat. So basically that again limits its capabilities around the track. But overall, I'd say this is one of my favorite bikes around here.
So there you have it, folks.
We had an absolute blast at the BIC with all the contenders as they battle it out for a spot in the top 3 and of course to be crowned the performance bike of the year. Stay tuned for our 13th anniversary issue as we unveil our best of 2019.